10.5, we're going to learn about the quadratic formula, and in this particular lesson, we're just going to learn about real solutions. There is another one that we're going to be we will be doing that involves complex solutions as well. Okay, so here's our fish for the day, and your dad joke for the day is I got a hen to regularly count her own eggs. She is a real mathematician. Instead of mathematician, she's a mathematician. There you go. I know you're all crying right now because you're laughing so hard. Okay, um, here we go. So the quadratic formula, we first need to make sure that we are in standard form. So ax squared plus bx plus c. And our quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a, where your a, b, and c come from your standard form. Okay? So we'll keep that up here in the corner. And let's look at some examples. All right, so we have, looks like A is 4, B is 9, and C is negative 13. So let's go ahead and plug it into our formula. Now, what's going to help you a lot is that if you use parentheses every time you plug in a number. So we're going to do negative B, and B is 9. So we're going to do parentheses 9. This is just going to help you keep your signs straight. Plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 9 squared minus 4 times a, which is 4. What in the world did I write right there? Sorry, a is 4. So 4 times c. So do you see every time I had to plug something in for like an a or a c, I used parentheses? That is going to help you a lot. 2 times a, and we'll put a 4. All right. The square root extended all over this. So all we're going to do at this point is we're not going to plug this into a calculator. If you don't have a calculator, that's okay. You can use one online, Desmos. So this one right here, if you go to desmos.com /calculator, you can use this calculator right here in our problem. So we're going to do negative 9 plus. Now, if you notice down here, I already had it up, but if you kind of hover down here, it's going to say show keypad. If you bring that up, it gives you a couple options. There's my square root. So we're going to do the square root of 9 squared minus 4 times a, which was 4, times c, which was negative 13. Make sure now I'm going to make sure I'm out from underneath the square root. You know what? I'm actually going to have to put parentheses around this whole thing. That way when I click divide, now that whole thing is on the top. So make sure you put parentheses around the whole thing. Now divide 2 times a, which is 4. Hit enter, and my answer is 1. Okay? Now, but you notice it says plus or minus. And this first one I did, I had a plus. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to highlight all of this. I'm going to paste it. But I'm going to turn this into a minus to find my second answer, which is negative 3.25. Okay, so I'll go back to my assignment. I had two answers. I had a 1 and a negative 3.25. So you're going to get two answers on each of these. Okay, so let's do another example just to make sure we get it. The hardest part on this assignment is just making sure you type it into your calculator correctly, in all honesty. So just make sure you take your time when you're plugging it into your calculator. Okay, so I am not in standard form right now. So I have to add the 4x and minus the 19 to the other side. So I get x squared plus 4x minus 19 equals 0. So a is 1, b is 4. C is negative 19. All right, so we have negative b, so negative 4, use my parentheses, equals, well, not equals, oh, sorry, negative 4 plus or minus the square root of b squared, so parentheses 4 squared, minus 4, and this 4 is always there, times a times c. All right, so let's go ahead and throw that into our calculator. Nice thing about Desmos is once I'm here, I can actually just go back and replace the numbers, but we're going to do it all over again just to make sure we all understand how to do this. So I'm going to start with the parentheses. Okay, so we're going to do negative 4, so negative parentheses 4 parentheses plus the square roots down here. So parentheses 4 parentheses squared minus 4 times a, which was 1. Oh. Times c. What was my c? C was negative 19. And the parentheses there, arrow out, and my parentheses, all divided by 2 times a. And a was 1. Okay, so my first answer is right there, 2.79583, on and on and on. We are only going to have to worry about rounding to the nearest hundred. So let's go ahead and copy, paste this down into here. Remember, it's plus or minus, so we have to have a plus answer and a minus, and there is my second answer. Okay, so let's just go ahead and round. So we got 2.795, which means we're going to have a 2.80 for my first answer. So 2.80, or just 2.8 would be okay. All right, and then my second answer, if I look back, is negative 6.795, which also rounds to negative 6.8 again. So negative 6.80. Okay, and also I just noticed that I forgot to show my work right here. It's divided by 2a, so 2 times 1. So I apologize for that. That's why in my calculator I divided it by 2 times 1, because that's my 2a right there. Okay, all right, let's try another one. I am not in standard form, so I'm going to minus my 4 and minus my x, and I get x squared minus x minus 4, and I get a equals 1, b equals negative 1, and c equals negative 4. So let's go ahead and plug that in over here. So we're going to do negative b. Now b is negative 1. Remember to use your parentheses. It's going to help you so much if you put parentheses around these. So plus or minus the square root of b squared, so negative 1 in parentheses squared, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is negative 4. So always use parentheses. If you don't, and you put it in your calculator without parentheses, you're going to get it wrong. Okay, so now we have 2 times a, so 2 times 1. All right, so let's go back into my calculator. And now, instead of writing them all over again, I'm just going to put them in. So we got negative 1, plus or minus negative 1 squared, minus 4 times a. A was 1. C in this case was negative 13, I believe, right? Oh, negative 4. What am I thinking? My bad. Sorry. So negative 4. Okay. And then I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste that down into here. Except I'm going to change the plus to a minus. Now I would normally do this on a regular calculator, like a TI-84 plus, like the ones we have in class. But I'm doing it on the decimals just to show you how to do it, just in case you don't have a calculator at home. No matter what calculator you're using, just make sure you use your parentheses, because that'll be important. Okay, so if I round here, I got 2.561, which is just plain old 2.56 for my first answer. And then my second answer is negative 1.561. So just rounds to 0.56. So negative 1.56. Okay, and that's how you do the quadratic formula when you're going to get real solutions. And then we're going to do another video for complex solutions for your next assignment. So there you go. Oh, yeah, the end.